The gentleman from New York is recognized now for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for calling today's hearing. It's very timely for the representatives from SIPC to come before the subcommittee. After several years, they have finally produced the recommendations of their modernization task force, and this hearing and report come against the backdrop of the Madoff liquidation, which you have referenced and which Mrs. Maloney has referenced. This was unearthed 3 years ago, and during the past 3 years, that process run by SIPC has gone profoundly amok. This is tragic. This is wrong. From my perspective, there are at least 4 takeaways from this liquidation. One, the trustee, Irving Picard, is out of control. He interprets SIPA as he desires, not as intended by the courts, and on several occasions has been slapped down by the courts. He intimidates innocent victims, brings spurious clawback suits against them, maligning their reputations in the process, and leaking furiously to the media. Even Chairwoman Mary Shapiro expressed surprise at the initiation of the baseless lawsuits. Just the other day, in an order dated March 5th, in the Southern District of New York, Judge Rakoff, in the case Irving Picard versus Saul Katz, made the finding the court remains skeptical that the trustee can ultimately rebut the defendant's showing of good faith, let alone impute bad faith to the defendants. More generally, the court is concerned that much of the evidence, in quotes, that the parties proffered on summary judgment did not comport with the federal rules of evidence. Conclusions are no substitute for facts, and too much of what the parties characterize as bombshells proved to be nothing but bombast. And that's what that lawsuit has been from beginning to end, bombast. 2 of the victims are being treated unfairly. Very few victims have received the statutory mandated SIPC advances. The trustee has hatched an accounting mechanism that disregards real-world customer expectations and broker-dealer protocol. It's lawyer-intensive, and has run up the fees of $300 million paid to Mr. McCard. At $300 million, he has an open piggy bank here for himself. It's not an exaggeration to say the victims have been victimized twice, once by Bernie Madoff and now by Irving Picard. 3, the trustee is not being properly supervised. Where were the regulatory bodies tasked with oversight over the trustee, SIPC directly, and the SEC indirectly? Moreover, where is the statutory mandate report on the liquidation required of the trustee? The trustee in the Lehman liquidation has completed and filed such a report. The broker-dealer failure is arguably much more complex and complicated than the Madoff debacle. Lastly, this miscarriage of justice endured by the Madoff victims could happen to any investor whose broker deal failed for any reason. We need to restore some reason and some rationality to the unwinding of failed brokerage firms, and that's why I am proud to sponsor with Chairman Garrett H.R. 757, a proposal that enjoys bipartisan support. Mr. Chairman, thank you for your leadership on 757. Thank you for holding this hearing. I look forward to hearing from the witnesses. I yield back.
And again, I thank the gentleman from New York. Thank you for your work in this legislation as well and for this issue.